Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. Today we are going to be talking about the Plasma Energy First Aid Kit. And this is something that can be used in disaster time, or just for general do-it-yourself minor things at home. So, Lynn, give a short introduction to this topic.
Okay, well, the whole idea of the first aid system came about after the earthquakes in Norcia, Italy, several years ago. And so there was a team of people from Kesh Foundation that actually put together a first aid, plasmatic first aid chart. And this is what it looks like. And you can find it on our website. So what we've done is put together the different plasma energy waters that would be found in the first aid kit that's described here on the plasmatic first aid chart. And what those are, and I'll let Paul show them to you, when we send them out to you, we're either going to send them in vials this size if the weather's nice and we're not having freezing temperatures, or if we're having below 30-degree temperatures in the fall, winter, and spring because we're in a cold climate, then you're going to get the larger BPA-free plastic vials that we know even if they freeze, they will not break. If you happen to live outside of the country, there's going to be a series of the patches, and this particular one is CH3, but you're going to get all the patches that are described in the first aid plasma energy system that we provide when you wish to order that. So, Paul, would you like to show the various GANs that are in the first aid?
Yeah, there's a list here, and on this chart that's on our website, and the Ganses that are in there are the CO2, which is this one, the copper oxide, which is this one, the CH3, which is this one, and zinc oxide, which is this one, and then we have calcium, which is this one.
Now it also talks about hemoglobin and
hemoglobin amino acid.
right.
That's this right here, and the amino acid collects on top of these Ganses as you're making them, and you have to harvest it off of there, and I'll show all that at a later time. The hemoglobin is a separate procedure to make that, and you use some iron in that process because one of the main components of hemoglobin is iron. And also on this chart it mentions nano-coating copper, and nano-coating copper is very important because that's what you use to make all these Ganses with. It's a very fine coating of carbon particles that collect over the top of the copper plate, And there's a definite procedure for doing that. And one of the ways you do it is with like a plumber's torch or acetylene torch, heating the copper. And another way is with caustic material such as lye, heating it, boiling it, and at some point I'll go over the way I make nano-coated copper, and it varies a little bit from what you see on this chart. This chart was developed by Kesh Foundation, and through the years I have made enough of these nano-coated copper plates that I've developed a system that works better for me.
And Paul, if you want to show like the pen we have there, it shows what nano-coated copper looks like, because that's actual copper wire coiled up in that pen, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the what they call a pain pen. And you can see this little spike here on the bottom is what you aim at a sore place on. Say, for instance, this is your knee, and you aim that at it, and the plasma energy focuses on your knee. And inside is nano-coated copper wire wrapped in a spiral around a core of nano-coated copper wire. So that's the pain pen. We don't use this anymore because we have developed this set of
well, we're using Band-Aids, which these are fabric Band-Aids that have been treated with the arthritis. These particular ones are arthritis formula, I think, correct?
right.
Arthritis relief.
And we just put these in a X shape on one side of the sore spot, whether it be a knee, an elbow, ankle, whatever. And then on the other side, we just put one. And that creates a gradient that the energies attempt to balance between, causing a flow of the plasmatic energy that balances out. It gets rid of the pain in the joint.
And those just stay on 24/7 until they fall off. And as you can see, there's a whole bag of them here. So these are things that we're using, we have around to use as needed. Paul uses them all the time on his knees and has found it's a much simpler way than using a pen or something like that.
Now, getting back to the plasmatic first aid chart here, there are some systems or ways to use these items that are in the chart here. And one way is to put these liquids in a spray bottle, spray them on the sore areas. You can drink it. You can put it in pads like these patches Lynn has here. And you can also inhale it for lung problems. And what we recommend is a plastic or vinyl plastic tubing stuffed into a jar like this, fill it up with this Ganz water, and let the air come in this side and breathe out of this side. There's no water in this tube. This tube is just surrounded by the liquid plasma, and it energizes the air as you breathe it. So that's also a way to get the plasma energy into your lungs. This copper oxide and CO2 can be used for cuts and skin infections, with broken bones. It's recommended to use patches with the calcium. That speeds up healing. Or it gives an environment around the injury that lets your body heal itself in a more natural setting.
Now, some of the things that you can do when you have these items and you set them up, you might want to set up some first aid items ahead of time. So let's say you had something where there was maybe some smoke or something you were going to inhale. If you have a bunch of these painter masks, you can treat them ahead of time. Just spray them with whatever appropriate water you want to have on them, and hang them up and let them dry, and then store them, and they're ready for you. Now, you can make the patches ahead of time and just have them there to put on injuries. And let's say you have an injury maybe on an arm or a leg or something, and supplies are low, and you're having to start to improvise. And let's say it's an injury that you would have packed with a lot of cotton, and then you would have had the appropriate gauze and the appropriate tape, only you might be in a situation where you don't have that. Well, almost any household with a woman is going to have this. And you know what? These make great bandages. And you just are going to take them and you're going to spray them. Open them up, you're going to spray them with the water, let them dry, and you can have those sitting in reserve, just waiting if you ever needed them for a situation of covering up a wound a little bit better than might be done with a thinner patch. So those are just a couple of ideas. And like Paul mentioned, you can set up your spray bottles. And I use these when I'm making these patches, because it's real easy to lay out the paper towel or the fabric you're going to use, and then you can just take this and completely douse them. I hang them up on pants hangers to dry, and once they're dried, then I can continue to package them up in the plastic with the plastic packing tape so that they're all ready to use. So those are just a few ideas of having things on hand when you might run into an unexpected situation and need some first aid supplies. And just think about it. We're filming this in July 2019, and just a couple days ago there was an earthquake in California, 32 hours later, followed by another earthquake, I believe near the town Ridgecrest. And what happens? The only store gets shuttered and closed. So if you're out of things, you're not going to be able to get them. And that's why we say go ahead and do things ahead of time and have yourself a supply situation. Would you say it took up to 4 or 5 months to make all these different Ganz?
Yes, at
Sure.
least.
Yeah, so it's not something you can make overnight, and that's why we go ahead and provide them to people as a package. So go ahead, Paul. I kind of interjected there.
Another thing that these materials can be used for is protection against nuclear radiation. So if there's a nuclear radiation emergency, this CO2 diluted in your bath water, you can drink it and spray it on your body. Helps to protect you against nuclear radiation. So that's another one of the huge benefits of this first aid station. And then in this chart here, there's a picture that shows you how to make the Ganz. and separate the Ganz water. They've got a chart here on how to nano coat, and it's a little different than the process that I use. It works fine, and you can use that. It shows you here how to make the patches and how to make and use this paint pen. So that's about everything that's on this chart. There's a lot of detail that goes into making these things, and the theory behind it all. But just as a cursory overview, that's a good idea of what's in the plasma first aid kit.
And one additional thing I'll mention, this happens to be a spray bottle of our plasma energy station water, and we took it a couple years ago with us to when we were out watching a 4th of July parade, and it was hot, it was midday, the sun was pretty intense, and all I did during that time was I kept spraying it on our arms, and I think on my legs, and on our face and our head. Well, later that day I happened to notice we had no sunburns at all, and we were out there for like an hour and a half. And when I was doing that, I was sitting next to Paul, so I was getting this part of Paul, but I wasn't doing very well on the far arm. And that one arm, you could tell he'd been out in the sun, where the rest of him was
Yeah,
was protected.
and this arm peeled later on. It got the skin came loose in several places and peeled off, and this side didn't, where she'd been spraying. So that was kind of an eye-opener.
And so that's just another use we have when you have these different plasma energy solutions that we've come up with. So we would encourage you to look at our channel. We have quite a few videos up now. We're doing this, you know, sometimes you just get a little smarter down the road, and trying to do a workshop and haul everything out for a workshop isn't nearly as convenient as bringing it to a table and filming a segment on it and then passing it on to you. So I hope you're finding these videos to be helpful in learning more about our plasma energy solutions. You can find our website at plasmaenergysolution.com. plasmaenergysolution.com. And we'll have a little surprise for you at the very end of this. But Paul, you want to go ahead and add a little to that?
That's about all I have. It's there will be a link down below the video in the description area for plasmaenergysolution.com, and if you just click on that link, it'll take you to our website.
And if you want to know what the products are that we do have, if you click on the shop link in the menu at the top of the page, it will show products under that. Click on that and you'll be able to see all the different products that we have. And should you decide to order something because of having watched this video, you can use the coupon word at checkout of plasma, and it will give you a 15% discount. I will mention if there's another discount being offered, we don't have multiple discounts, so if it doesn't work, it's because you've already gotten in on the shop page being set up to accommodate a different discount that might be going on. I do these every month, sometimes twice a month. So keep an eye on our page. There's always something new going on. And we thank you very much for watching this, and we hope you'll give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And Paul, anything else?
That's about it. We thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully you have learned something, and hopefully we have brought some value to you through this video. So give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Share this with your friends. We appreciate it. Thank you.